interesting. It's been a while since I filmed. I kind of feel like I need like a fidget or something. I'm gonna go get a fidget. Have a little bit of putty. Let's get into it.
'Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind you know I'll always manifest it.
Hey guys, so it's the video I have been putting off forever to make because it's just like a sit down talk one to kind of give the race report of how Mt Charleston was for me. I'm not much of a sit down and talk type of gal, so. All right, so I'm gonna be giving a race report from the Mt Charleston Marathon, which if you've been following my BQ round 2 series, this was my main attempt to get my 325 marathon. So first things first, when they announced that they were gonna have a 325 pacer, as of yesterday, they have a 325 pacer. I've never been more confident in myself. I was so grateful because I genuinely didn't think I would have been able to do it if it wasn't for a 325 pacer. I don't know if you guys saw in another video, but I emailed so many times for them to please consider having a 325 pacer. Their website, I check it all the time. They haven't added any new pace times. Emailing Rebel Races for a 7th time.
Just got an email and I haven't opened it yet, but I can see that it's from Revel Races. I sent them 7 emails asking for a 325 pacer.
Because this is the first year that the standards have been different for each age group by 5 minutes. And when they finally put a 325 pacer, I was so grateful. So my strategy was the exact same of what it was last year, where I was supposed to stay with the pacers and then break off at mile 20, because from there it's just all flat from mile 22 and on. So then I was gonna kind of speed up from mile 20 and mile 21 to get that extra cushion for the last 4 miles that are flat / a little bit uphill. Essentially, I have been manifesting 322 for over a year. That is the time that came to my mind last year when I was training for the Boston Marathon for this race last year. And I considered it my stretch goal. I was watching this YouTube video of this guy who ran the Mt Charleston, and he mentioned this thing called a stretch goal. Now I'm manifesting 322, which also can be considered my stretch goal. So I'm just gonna keep telling myself, you're gonna cross at 322, 322. That is your time, that's your goal. Get your butt there at 322. I was just seeing that 322, 322, 322. It's the circle. And then I'm sprinting running to that 322. But that has always been my constant. 322, 322, 322. That's what I would write all in my notebook all the time. That's what was on my vision board. Okay. I'm gonna put this right at the top. Have it do its thing. Manifesting this time. And I get to look at it every single day. So this is just one of the things in here, and here, and here. That's just what would pop in my mind. I even had this as my wallpaper for the longest time, 322. So I'll show screenshots of that. It was my go-to goal. That is what I wanted. Another thing that was really just scaring the shit out of me is that the wind was predicted to be at 30-mile-per-hour gusts of wind. And after the experience of running with that insane wind in that other marathon that I did in March, I haven't had a headwind like this in a very long time. I was so scared. I was I'm just gonna try for a BQ at the next marathon I'm doing in a month. it was so bad. Like literally it was the hardest thing ever. The volunteer stations were like blowing away. I'm just feeling kind of depressed because of how hard that headwind was. The wind was predicted to be pretty bad. The thing was, I just kept telling myself, like, that's actually something out of your control, so do not worry about it. If it happens, then you know to not give it your all on race day if it's that windy. And the last thing was that I know you are never supposed to try something new on race day. That's like one of the golden rules in racing. And well, let's just say that I bought a little belt for little water bottles because I decided, what if I really need water? I don't know. So yes, I did do something different on race day. I had never even tested them out. I just decided if all goes to shit, I'll just throw the little water bottle things out and it's fine. But it ended up really helping me in the end. Okay, so let's get into like the actual race report. We're gonna start with the bus. So the buses, for the first time, this is my third time doing this marathon, the buses actually weren't the party bus this time. So I was actually grateful because you guys, it sucks being in that stupid party bus. Like, I get it, it's fun, it's Vegas, they wanna make it like memorable, but you're literally just staring at people while you're going up a freaking mountain and around and around and around. It's just uncomfortable. So we were actually in a luxury bus, not even a school bus, like step up from that. And it was perfect because we all got to use the bathroom in the bus. We didn't have to wait in the line in the porta potties for 10,000 hours. Now, most of the time humans think using a bathroom in a bus is disgusting, but if you're a runner, you know that using a porta potty is kind of on the same level, if not way worse. So it worked out really well. For mile 1 of the race, it is uphill. It's like probably one of the very few parts of this race that's uphill. And that is when everyone is questioning, like, holy shit, can I sustain this pace throughout the entire marathon? And it is hard, but I just kept telling myself, once you get over this hill, you know you're gonna be okay. Like, it only gets easier for a long time after this. The 325 pacer, like I planned, I am sticking with him until mile 20, like no exceptions. He sprinted up that hill. So of course here I am like already gassed on mile 1, which is also a big no-no. But I'm like, no, I'm sticking with this pacer. I don't care. This is what I plan to do. And then the thing is, the pacer never really slowed down. He never really settled into like our normal race pace. He was actually running so fast that we ran with the 320 pacers for like the first 8 miles. Like he was running questionably fast, but I kept just saying like, okay, this dude probably knows what he's doing. Maybe he's trying to conserve energy for that burnout from the last like 5-10K of this race. But thankfully, I always write on my arm all of the little hills within the entire race.
Oh, there's place. On my little arm, I wrote all of the miles where there's little hills.
Cause like you know where the hills are, like you'll memorize like it's the first mile, mile 5, mile 7, whatever. You'll memorize it, but kind of when you're in that delirious mindset in mid-race, it's nice to constantly be checking where your next hill is, how to conserve your energy, and all of that stuff. And that way, like, you know, okay, I just have to make it until this point and then I can actively recover. If there's anything you learn from me for a race strategy, I'm telling you, life changer. I do it for all my races now, not even the ones I'm trying to like actually get a PR in. We'll skip ahead to mile 9. So mile 9 is when the 320 pacers, because remember, we've got the 325 pacers and the 320 pacers, we're all running in a huge pack right now. This is where the 320 pacers start to break away. For a split second, I was like, maybe I should just break away with them. But I was able to kind of hold myself together and stay with the 325 pacers, remembering I have a strategy. And then I hit mile 11. Mile 11, the wind was coming on strong, the wind that they had predicted that I was so nervous about. Well, you know, I always do my little race hair, so I can see my purple race hair up here, and I realized, holy shit. It is a 30-mile-per-hour gust tailwind. What is the chance? It was crazy. So the biggest anxiety thing that I had going for me literally was going to be helping me. So that's when I decided to take the biggest risk, pretty stupid risk to be honest with you, and I decided I'm gonna pass the 325 pacers. I am feeling so good. The wind is on my side. I know this course. I'm just gonna do it. And I went for it. And I was so nervous about this decision that I was trying to like tell Siri to text my family about my breaking my strategy, and Siri wasn't working, so that was kind of frustrating. And this was like a big deal for me, so I was like, I need to text this to my family and let them know. So I like tried to pull out my phone so I could text while I'm running freaking 7-minute miles, blah, blah, blah. And it didn't work. And of course, the one photo, like the photographer, one area on this race was while I'm trying to pull my phone out. So I'll insert it, but whatever, I don't care. It's fine. And now mile 18. So mile 18 is when I was still feeling really good. I wasn't winded at all. However, I had this horrible foot pain in my left foot. I've never had foot pain in my entire life of running. Like, no. It was right on like the ball of my foot, and it felt like somebody was stabbing like a pen hardcore up there, sharp pains. But the thing was, because my body was so not winded and feeling so energized still, I like put up with the pain even though it felt like this could lead to some serious problems. So what I had to do was I had to shift my foot on the left side to run on my toes, like to land on my toes. And it felt so weird, but I couldn't land on the ball of my foot because there was something going on there. But then I was like, you know what? This foot pain, it sucks, but it's better than hitting the wall. So I just continued like running on the foot pain after a while. So mile 22, I knew exactly what I was in for. And I also knew it was my time to shine. So here's where it starts to get flat. And I knew that this is the moment I had saved all of my energy for. We're going for it. So I was wearing the Meta Speed Sky shoes for this race, which I had never really worn them during a race except for one other time. To be honest, there was a point in the race before this where I was like, this was a bad decision because it did not help me on the downhill at all. But once it got flat, you guys, those Meta Speed Skies by Asics, seriously, they do some work for you. It really helped with like springing back, and I was able to go a lot faster on the flats with these shoes. So they came in clutch right there. All right, so mile 23, this is where I told myself, this is what makes or breaks you. This is what decides if you're going to Boston or not. And so I squinted my eyes and I focused. And what I told myself was, Kara, this is your last marathon on this side of the country before you move back home. Make it count. All these years of running, put it into this race so that when you return home, you ended off with your best performance ever. I keep running. So I start passing all of the people that are burning out at this point, which is very typical at mile 23. I'm still dying inside, but seeing that I'm continuously passing people, of course, it's like a boost of confidence. And then all of a sudden I look up and I see the 320 pacers. I just started crying tears of joy. I couldn't even believe that I had caught up to the 320 pacers, just unintentionally. It was like such a burst of adrenaline and energy, and I was so proud of myself. It was incredible. Then mile 24 happened. This is when I started burning out and starting to hit the wall. I looked at my watch and I was like, okay, you can slow down. Even if you ran 10-minute miles, you still could BQ. You still could BQ. You still could do great. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You could still get that BQ. And so I kind of like go into that mindset of babying myself a little, like, come on, Kara, you still got it. Do what you need. Slow down a little. And then the 320 pacers passed me. And that was hard to see, but I kept doing this like babying myself, like, it's okay, Kara, you still got the 325 pacers behind you, like you're gonna be all right, you still got that time in there, don't worry about it. And that's when I realized, no, I am not doing this, no. I said, you have the potential to still have an amazing time. You are not giving up. And this is when I would say I genuinely sold my soul to this race. And I'll talk about what I mean by that. So my body was on E. I had nothing left in me. It almost felt like the top half of my body was starting to kind of go in and out of consciousness, but I told myself, you are not letting your legs slow down. You are doing left, right, and you are doing it at the same pace. You are not slowing down. I don't care if you're hitting the wall. We're not gonna let this happen. And so I kept running at what felt like I was sprinting, but it was really just me keeping the same pace. But I was, oh my gosh, I was on another level. My brain was, I don't know how else to describe it, but I was thinking about, like, there have been little bits and pieces of you feeling like this when you were training, doing speed work or those really long grueling runs or even tempo runs. Like, you felt this before. You're okay. But I also knew that what I was doing was dangerous. And so I told myself, Kara, if you die, at least you die doing what you love. Now, I know that sounds stupid and like reckless and dangerous, but I wanted this so bad. And I really did live a good life. Like, this is what I was telling myself. You really have accomplished everything that you want. You have come so far from the girl you were. You have done so much. So I decided I'm not gonna allow myself to hit the wall. So as I'm getting closer and closer and closer to the finish line, as I'm turning the corner towards the finish line, I see my mom, and even though I was completely dead and on E, just seeing her, I had a huge smile on my face. I was so happy to see her. I was like proud of myself that she got to see me, even though I was stumbling so bad to even keep my legs in line because I was so not there mentally. It was so good to see her. I started approaching the finish line, you know, sprinting under it, and I wondered before I got close, like, what time is it gonna say? Like, I know it's gonna be a sub 325, but I also know that the 320 pacer passed me, and so as I go under the finish line, I look up and it said 322. I couldn't even believe it. When I saw that it said 322, and the amount of times that I have written down 322 in my journal or looked at it or said it or put it as my phone screen, like, I have been seeing 322. Hi, honey. Hi, girls.
Oh my god, it was such a good dog park.
You wanna come say hi?
Girls loved it. I got to say hi to two of my favorite dogs.
So when I saw that 322, I just burst into tears, and I tried everything that I could to like raise my arms up and go, yes. But I was so drained that it was like, this is as far as I could get. But I couldn't believe it. Like, the amount of times I'd seen that number and how much space that number had taken in my head for the last year and a half or so. It was crazy to actually see it up there on the clock in front of me. I had literally given that race everything I had left. And as I was like crossing the finish line, I literally like stumbled and I almost crashed into a volunteer. And so the first person I see after I go under the finish line is my sister. I guess she had sprinted to meet up with me, and she's over on the other side of the fence, and she's like, fuck yes, Kara, fuck yes. And then I see my husband, and I just hug him and I just start bawling my eyes out. And then my mom, and the same deal, she's bawling her eyes out. My husband's like, what the? So then I get a text on my phone, and it says, congratulations on your 3:19:15 marathon time. And I just couldn't even believe it. I had over 5 minutes faster than the new Boston Marathon qualifying standard times. I just couldn't even believe it. I genuinely thought in that moment I might actually make it to Boston. Now, not so sure at this point if that's the case, because they are predicting that even with the new standard times, the cutoff times are gonna be like up to 7 minutes. So, and now I'm manifesting, since it worked last time, that the cutoff for Boston will be 3:51. It's fine though, it's fine. We don't have to go there yet. A fun fact, my fastest mile I've ever ran going all out was 7:01. But my average marathon time, like minute mile, was 7:36. If that doesn't say something about the race adrenaline, also probably helped that it was a downhill race, but you know. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the race. I've showed these before, but these are my squishmallows. So this guy, I got him before Mt Charleston last year. No, I didn't get him before. We were in the gas station before, And Luis said if I qualified for the Boston Marathon that I could get him.
Heading home from the race, and Luis and I were joking in the gas station on the way to the race that if I qualify, I can get this Squishmallow. And, well, we got the Squishmallow on the way out.
So we ran back to that gas station after to grab him. His name's Revel because it's a Revel race. And then this year, we were at Smith's getting some groceries for the Airbnb, and we saw this one, and Luis was like, that one's so cute. If you qualify, we're gonna get you that one. And so I qualified, we went back to Smith's after, and this guy's name is Charles for Mt Charleston. So these are my real medals. All jokes aside, it was a great last race on this side of the country. I knew that I didn't have anything left in me. So we went home to take a nap after the race since, you know, no one sleeps on race night. Plus, as my mom says, the Revel races start in the middle of the night. And by that, she means like we load the bus at 3:15, but whatever. We went home to take a nap, and when I woke up, like I'm not exaggerating, I could not move my legs. I was telling myself, legs, move. I was so frightened. Then we went out for drinks, and I never drink. I think I had like 2.5 margaritas, maybe 3. We were so shit-faced, especially after running a marathon, like you're already pretty dehydrated. And we ended up going into the casino gym just to be funny, and like if you like never drink, you don't really feel pain. So we thought we'd be so funny if we were gonna go lift weights and do the machines, and then I started running on the treadmill. Hey Kara, what are you doing?
I'm working after the marathon.
Is that feeling good on your legs?
I'm literally doing 3.2 speed and no.
It was just so funny. Most people, when they get drunk in Vegas, they go out and like, I don't know, spend all their money or have some crazy night. No, we went to the casino gym. So yeah, that's my experience at Mt Charleston. So I wanted to say thank you guys. If you watched any of my videos from this training cycle, I really appreciate each and every one of you. It really did help documenting it all. I'm really happy that I have people that actually watch it, even if it's just like 10 views. It makes me feel really good, so thank you guys.
Deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
It's like this. And he rolls down for a second. It's down like that. And then a sudden burst of energy comes up. And he's like, ooh. And he just goes down like that. And he's like that. And then there's someone spraying water on his face as he's like that. And then they grab him and pick him up. Yeah. That's how it was. Oh, you're filming? Fuck out of here. Ellie! Love.
Now I can watch that reenactment of that man at the marathon as many times as I want.
Oh, Miss
Miss Flea!
You're so clean though.
Miss Flea!